What is up, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Our 60 Journey. My name is Lucas, and I'm here to help us build healthy relationships. So I had a private lesson this morning. We're doing choreography. She's doing a dance to Perfect Skin, which is all about embracing your flaws and really kind of engaging with the internal negative self and releasing it to embrace the fact that on the inside, we are perfect and beautiful. So I'm talking to her, and I've had her and her sister for a long time, like at least 4 years. And in the beginning, it was like there was the talented sister, everything comes easy, everything's simple. And there was the other sister who was the hard worker, but things came hard. She had to work her butt off for it. And over this period of time, it was kind of like the work at some point caught up to the talent. And then it was kind of taken off. The other one now has become the shy one, the one afraid, the one not believing in herself. And I was talking to her, and I have the older one, the hard worker with me today. And at some point I mentioned the shift, and she goes, yeah, there's been a huge personality change in the two of us. And we had this kind of moment of where I had told her about 2 or 3 years ago, about a year after I had her, I said, you have to remember that hard work will always outshine talent. Don't allow yourself to get sad. Don't allow yourself to be jealous. Do not allow yourself to envy another person because of their talent. Embrace your determination and really feed that determination. Start producing with it. And she had said, yeah, I remember that day that we had this conversation, and we both remember exactly where we were in the room, like what studio we were in, and I think I even remember what she was wearing. I feel like it was like gray pants, like a purple or blue shirt. And anyway, we're talking about it, and she goes, that day I didn't respond to you, but I was aware of what you were talking about, and it wasn't until I got home that I realized that I knew what you were talking about, but I wasn't ready to acknowledge it yet. And it was now, here we are 2 years later, that we're having this conversation about acknowledging, internal emotions we were creating that were actually keeping things away from us. They're keeping things back from us. And I think with relationships, it's the same way, because every thought we have of specificity to how we define and outline the relationship and that person we're dealing with is constantly evolving and growing and changing. And I was telling someone else the other day, I said, you have to speak positively onto the situation, onto the circumstance, the relationship, the person, before you get there. If you're already categorizing them and labeling them and making the situation worse inside your head before you arrive, you're feeding that demon, that energy, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, acknowledging our flaws as individuals and not judging them, acknowledging other people's flaws, although sometimes they're just our personal preferences that we label as flaws, and really there's something wrong with them. Their flaws, and not judging it, gives us a perspective of compassion that makes it easier to navigate the emotional waters that so many people struggle with, is navigating the emotional waters. Because when someone gets upset, or if someone's in a bad mood, or if someone's sad, it's easy for us to replicate their energy and then give it back to them, which makes the energy grow inside of them and inside of us and get down the negative drain spiral, or we'll call it the non-productive spiral. I'm really trying to escape the dualism of words, that's a negative person, he's a narcissist, he's draining. Versus, this is a positive person, she's an empath, and she really fills me up. Well, maybe she's filling you up because she's giving you all of her energy and you're sucking it out of her. I'm trying to get away from those words. And when we go down these paths that lead us to a place of worry and of lack and of concern about our relationship, it's almost always because of what we're looking at it for. And going, because this person's not doing this, or because they're doing that, I am not going to put up with that. I'm unhappy. And that's the biggest, I'm wasting my time. That energy of entitlement, of not accepting and acknowledging our own issues and going, I'm the one judging this. I'm the one perceiving this a certain way. I'm the one creating the problem to be bigger. Maybe they're making it bigger too. Maybe they're helping it, but I'm doing this. Taking that accountability and acknowledging the fact that we want to change is how we make the relationships better and more productive. Productive, right? Because like there's never that question that pops up so often in my readings is, am I wasting my time? And you're never wasting your time. Like you're doing one of two things. Either you're paying off karmic debt. If something shows up to you, it's because you did this before. You provided this energy before and it affected someone else and now you're paying it off. Or you're in the moment and you haven't received a gift yet from the future, but you know and trust and guide that your faith is there. Then you're paying it forward. But if there's an issue in your life at any moment that's something that you're not satisfied with, either you're paying it off or you're paying it forward. Therefore, you're never, ever, ever, ever wasting energy, wasting time. It's never like that. You're always working in and towards and through and with your destiny. And if people would just remember that, it'd make relationships so much easier. Because half the time that we get mad at someone and we don't want to deal with the relationship, it's really because we're not being patient and we're criticizing them and ourselves. And when we get past that, like when the sisters got equal and all of a sudden there was one doing this and one doing this, where it had been like this the whole time, all of a sudden the perspective lens changes. And when we do that and acknowledge it and move through it, how many times did I say acknowledge? I mean, really, acknowledge. When we acknowledge that and move through it, we lift, we transition, we transform, we become something else, someone else. And that's where the good stuff is. All right, guys, well, I'll see you later. Thanks for checking in. I look forward to talking to you soon.